On to you Leos out here. Peace. So you Leos have the Emperor, excuse me, you have the Empress, the Devil, and then you have the Moon card. Oh. Okay, so for you Leos, right? Um, okay, wait, hold on. So, okay, so there's a sense of you Leos feeling like, okay, you just now breaking out of the the little like the prison or the box that you were held in, right? Not physically breaking out, but I mean like much more so of a circumstance that you got out of, and that you Leos actually feel free from, because you doing what it is that you want to do. It's not so that like you doing something and then now you're in a position where it's like, okay, in order for you to make it out of this has to happen, right? No, it's more so, right, you come to your own conclusions, right? It's more so where you don't have to deal with this type of nonsense, and therefore you doing your own thing because of the fact that you know you don't have to deal with it. So you're free essentially. And then you have the Moon card. So um you Leos are going to do your thing. You know what I mean? Whatever your thing is, you're not necessarily going to be heard from for a little bit. There's the Moon card represents like ghosting. So more so like staying out of the way, um, staying low key, not trying to really get too much attention. If you can, right? Do what it is that you do and then move on. Like not having too many people get your attention for too long out of the day, You know how some people just want to stand around and talk sometimes. And that's not necessarily you at this current point in time, right? Not saying that you Leos won't talk and and hang out and all of that, but you Leos will more than likely go and do your own thing, because you just want to handle your business for the day, right? And then go back home or hang out or go wherever it is that you're gonna go. Have your own free time for yourselves instead of needing to handle all these obligations all day long, right? You wake up at 8 o'clock, 8 a.m. per se. I'm just using that as an example, and then you don't go to sleep. You know what I mean? Up until 11 p.m. type stuff. Like that's not how it is that you Leos want things to be. You Leos legitimately want to be able to where you wake up at 8 a.m., right? You're done by 3 p.m. You get the rest of the day to pretty much do whatever it is that you want. And the thing is that the Ace of Wands and the Wheel of Fortune is about, and luckily, you Leos have things to where, it may not necessarily be exactly like that, but you're in a very good position, because it's a very good position for you, because it's something like that. So the Ace of Wands and the Wheel of Fortune is, so you Leos are definitely enjoying how things are going. You're enjoying the direction in which your life is going, where it is, where it's continuing to go. And you Leos very much so enjoy that. Things turn around. Like I said before, right? Wheel of Fortune, things turn around, literally. Because that's how it is sometimes. We go through hard times, we go through good times. That's how things are a lot of the times. So this is a situation where, like I said, things are moving in a direction in which you very much so you enjoy, right? And then you have the Two of Cups and the Emperor. So the Two of Cups and the Emperor, okay. Um, Now as far as relationship wise, uh, again, not necessarily looking, although some of you Leos could be looking. This is more so about, again, like you Leos just got to make sure that, whatever type of time y'all on, no matter whom it is that you Leos are actually getting to know, it doesn't matter whom you're getting to know. You have to have some of the things that you want. You got to get something out of the relationship too. No objections. I don't have any problem with that, because that's what a relationship is supposed to be. It's not supposed to be one a one-way street. You know, it's supposed to actually be like where the both of you get what it is that the two of you want. That's what that's part of what creates the trust between the two of you in the first place. You know, that's a part of what creates the trust in between the two of you in the first place. So the Emperor represents, so the way that you Leos are taking approach when it comes to like getting to know other people is different, because for you Leos, it's 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 more of like a royal role that you kind of course of action that you Leos are taking, right? Like it's more so calm, cool, collected, looking to see what's out here, right? Taking your time, not taking so much time to the point where nothing happens, because people will take that, they'll take they'll take that saying, and then they'll go super slow, right? It's like how many months have you been dating such and such? Oh, for like 3 months and nothing happened yet. It's like you doing yourself a disservice. Like you might as well, you know what I mean? Like people at that point might as well not even date anybody at this point, because the romantic fun is not the problem. They refuse to understand that they are the problem. You're not watching out. At this point, people who do that don't watch out for people, right, who have issues. They're not seeing the writing on the wall. They're not paying attention to this ain't a good look. It's a bad look to be hanging out with such and such, because this person will have your life upside down and twisted in all kind of Twilight Zone ways, and they're not paying attention to that. And so because of that, right, they end up going with a person whom they don't want to in the end, and then they find out the hard way. At first they wanted to, but then later on down the line they don't. So that's not how you Leos are moving. You Leos are moving real calm, cool, collected, wisely. A lot of you Leos very much so are paying attention to where you're going. You're looking to see if the person is out of their mind, or if the person has some form of like common sense about them. And then you have the Sun card. So the Sun card right here is about how, and since that's the case, the Sun card is about you Leos. Also, well, Sun is Leo, so the Sun card is about you Leos. Also being able to play well with others, right? Like how to socialize and everything like that. But again, just you know, just really paying attention to how other people interact with you, right? And also, right, if you can, pay attention to how other people, the same person who interacted with you, interacts with another person. Because how do they interact with you? Do they interact with you from the perspective of like, they always seem angry all the time, they're looking for a problem? Those type of people, they like you, but they're getting off on being dysfunctional. Like for whatever reason, they got a chip on their shoulder. You know what I mean? And they need to kind of get the chip off of their shoulder, for a little bit. But they may have a chip on their shoulder, so don't even waste your time trying to talk to a person who just has a chip on their shoulder about you. I'm telling you, they got all kind of issues. Every time you talk to them, you ain't even said anything wild or out of pocket or disrespectful. but they can't control themselves. They have to they have to have, oh, they have to have a fit of rage. They have to be upset. They have to be mad. They got to find something wrong with it. And see, the situation is that the Sun card right here represents how, since that's the case, again, you Leos know how to play well with others, but you understand that, the attention is on you. The attention is, how you interact with others and how others interact with you. So there's a sense of you being, you learning how to be a lot more relaxed. It's not like getting to know another person. Part of the problem why a lot of people end up failing or having a difficult time more than what they have to is because they tighten up, to be honest with you. They tighten up. They in other words, they freeze. They get real rigid. Okay. They get real rigid. They freeze. They tighten up. Instead of them stay loose and nimble and stuff like this, they tighten up. And what I mean by that is that kind of like nimbleness. I'm talking about like the differences between a person who is a little bit more relaxed and comfortable around individuals to speak to them, and people who is not comfortable. You understand what I'm saying? So the people who are usually a little bit more comfortable tend to be a little bit more naturally confident, and because they are comfortable in these types of situations, they know what to do. They trust themselves, and so that's how you Leos are choosing to actually go about handling your business, right? It's a lot more of a relaxed Leo approach where, sometimes, you know what I mean? So, sometimes you Leos can be a little bit off-putting, not because you may want to sometimes, but you may be a little bit startled. But the Four of Swords and the Page of Cups right here, okay, speaks to how you Leos, that's not happening to you right now. You're gonna continue and do what you want to do, relax, speak to people in a way that you want to be spoken to. And if a person has issues, then you ain't got to hang out with them. So overall, what I'm seeing here for you Leos is that a lot of you Leos are becoming just more comfortable in everyday life. There's a certain level of looseness that you need to have, right? And I'm not saying loose in the sense of like start doing whatever. That's not what I'm talking about. What I mean when I say looseness, I mean comfortability, right? The ability to understand that you've been in these situations before. You've been here before. So you're not freezing up, like when you talk to people, it's like, oh. When you not just talk to people, but like when you socialize, it's not you freezing up. When you need to handle your business, you're not like over worrying, right? If you over worry, it's more so of you Leos being like, okay, I've been here before. I know what I'm doing. I know where I'm going. How can I handle this situation? You understand what I'm saying? So then you have the Four of Swords and the Page of Cups. So the Four of Swords and the Page of Cups right here speaks to, like I said, how so that anxiety is kind of, everybody has a little bit of anxiety, but it's getting, it's at a point with you Leos where the things that you've already done that is difficult prepares you for this stuff, right? And this is what I mean when I say, a lot of the times, I ain't gonna give everybody the whole game, but like, this is what I mean a little bit sometimes when I'm talking about like motorcycles and stuff like this. It's getting rid of those nerves. It's getting rid of the fears of like, oh, XYZ. It's like knowing how to handle yourself in risky or, dangerous situations. So that if anything occurs, it doesn't even matter if it's those specific situations, but if anything occurs, you know how to take a much more realistic, relaxed approach, calm approach, not relaxed, but a calm, prepared approach, because you get on a motorcycle, like you drive the motorcycle often, you know what I mean? Like you already kind of low key, it's already kind of low key a little bit dangerous. So when you put yourself in those situations, it's like, you know, if you can survive that, let's clarify the Page of Cups. So you have the Ace of Cups, the Hanged Man, the Emperor, the Knight of Swords, and then you Leos have the Four of Pentacles. So to clarify the Page of Cups, right? Which is about you doing your own thing. But it's also a little bit of a warning too for you Leos to not, you know, get deluded in what you're doing. You know, still go out, socialize, you know, engage, understand what's going on. But at the same time, the majority of the work has to be focused on yourself. But don't neglect what's going on around you and being aware of your surroundings to exclusively or only pay attention to you. You know, still pay attention to what's going on around you. The Ace of Cups, the Hanged Man, and the Emperor. You know, we've already covered that. You're in a position where you Leos are, you know, becoming a little bit more loose with. You're becoming a lot more relaxed or comfortable with how it is that you handle your business. You know, you're prepared for situations like I talked about yesterday in the Leo reading, how, you know, it's like you can't believe you got to handle this situation. Well, it's not as worrisome as it is the first time around. You know, the first time around, you've never experienced this type of experience before. So now it's like, okay, this is my first time. I don't know what to do. I have no reference point, right? I'm literally experiencing this thing for the first time. But then it's like when you experience it for the second time or more, it's like, oh, I know what to do. I know where the weak spots are. I know what position I need to be. I need to know what I'm doing, right? You know, economy, right? I know the positions in which I need to be in order to get done what I need to get done. If it doesn't look a specific kind of way, then it may mean that I need to do something a little bit more creative. But more than likely, this is how things should be the outcome, right? And so the Knight of Swords and the Four of Pentacles represents how a lot of you Leos, right? You're, like I said, also, you just know what it is that you want out of life. And you Leos just understand things on a whole new level because you know what you want out of life. And you Leos know how to get certain things because you have and had a lot of experience. So you know what to do within given situations. So you Leos are doing a very good job because you're not really panicking about a lot of different things, which is great. You know, and the fact that, okay, cool. The fact that you're not panicking is good because it means that you Leos are able to go about living your life and handling your business in a particular way where it's good for you. So that's pretty much it for now. Comment on the video, like the video, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Peace. Have a good one, y'all.